Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your MC for the day, the talented South African comedian Loyiso Madinga.
Good evening. Hello, it's so good to see everyone's faces.
Please make your way to the cocktail bar for...
As a feminist, I'm very offended by that being spoken over like that. How's everybody doing? We all good? Yes, yes, you guys look beautiful in this room and everybody there at home in their tracksuits. I hope you enjoy the show. Some of them don't even have pants on, but it's okay. We'll pretend you have decorum. Now, welcome to the 4th annual Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards, presented in partnership with Arena Holdings, Fatola, and Cold Press Media. This awards program recognizes and celebrates companies committed to using supply development to build thriving, inclusive, and transformative supply chains in Africa. The awards encourage collaboration and learning by sharing best practices across the African continent, presenting winners with a platform to share their experiences. This is a COVID-compliant ceremony, so please, sanitizing stations are provided all around the building, and please wear your masks whenever you can and practice social distancing, or just stick to the people whose COVID you trust. We've become connoisseurs of it now. It's been, and you guys still manage to do business, especially in the business that you guys are in, getting all the ideas and goods to the people. And somehow you guys did it. I'm so impressed. I'm sure you guys sweat the small stuff still. You beat yourself up a little bit for the little mistakes you make, and I say, don't. You guys are doing a fantastic job, because we tend to poke at the small things, don't we? Poke at the small things. Like, imagine being a president right now, during a pandemic. People shouldn't give you nonsense for the small things, but we do. I realized this when the president couldn't put the mask on. Listen, it's a small thing. He's running a country. Many presidents make small mistakes that we stick on for years and years as comedians. Our last president, small thing. I mean, we were going through world economic crashes and stuff. Who has time to remember numbers? Honestly, to remember how to say number. Who has that time? Do you guys remember that? When the president of here went onto national TV across the continent and world, and he said, and I quote, "A settlement amount to the value of 936 million But he tried again. He tried again because he's a president. He was there just... Why did he always do this? Just before he messed up, he'd always do this. It's like he was trying to warn us. This is not going well. 936 million, 3,060,000. And you could see the crowd was like, what? So he tried to convince us it's a real number by saying, close to 1 billion. And we were like, no. That number is closer to Narnia. It was small mistake, easily rectifiable. I mean, all he had to do was get a translator. You know, speak in isiZulu, get a translator. That's all you need to do. Not a sign language translator. South Africans, not particularly good with the sign language translators. We're not good in the HR department of hiring. Do you guys remember the first guy who made it look bad to be a translator in this country? Tamsang. He made Xhosa people look bad without saying a word. He was there at the funeral of one of our greatest statesmen. And I was watching closely, and I saw, there are 3 things he's doing. first thing, he kept repeating the same sign over and over. This is after. After what? He never told us. Second thing he did, President Obama comes on, and he starts his speech. We're all deeply saddened about the passing of Nelson Mandela. Wow! Wow! Red flag! But we all just kept watching as a country. And it was a third thing he did where I was like, When the president walked on at the time and he started his speech, I would like to thank all of the delegates, the current President Obama, and the First Lady Michelle Obama. No! No! When we make mistakes, and we grow through them. Especially in South Africa, it's easy to make language mistakes. There are 11 official languages. 11. I know people in Kenya are watching this going, that is nothing. We have all of them. No, they do. They have a lot of them. But we have 11 here. A lot of languages. It's a lot of languages to make a mistake in. I love our languages, though. I love our languages. I love all of them. I love the sexy ones like Chivenda. No one thinks of Chivenda as sexy, but I think it is. I think it's because of my stiff Xhosa tongue that I'm impressed by. Barimini. Rido Panda. Oh my gosh. Rido the Wana Panda. How can you not fall in love at that point? Right? Xhosa is an amazing language, especially if you're from Port Elizabeth, because they sing isiXhosa. Are you from Port Elizabeth, sir? Don't? I saw you do this. You were like, my people are going down. No, I love isiXhosa from PE. Are you, sir? I love the Xhosa from PE because they sing it. It's a song. It really is. No chab. And there's always a white guy in the background going, I love this track. I flippin'. Jesus, God can sing. Hey, what is this? Fantastic languages. Sesotho, South Sesotho. Are there South Sesotho people in the room tonight? Good, let's talk about them. Because it's not great. South Sesotho, it's not horrible. It's just that South Sesotho sounds drunk, is the word. Drunk, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, you're drunk. Go home. Please just sleep this off. In fact, don't even go home. You're already in your blanket. Sleep here, you know. We'll wake you up and proceedings continue. But we will continue with the show because tonight is not about moi or the presidents. It's about toi. I hope I said that right. Please, let's start this evening by welcoming the Business Day editor, Lukhanyo Mnyanda, to present welcome on behalf of the Business Day. Well, Business Day, not their Business Day. Ndade Lukhanyo, please come on to stage.
Well, you do have here a closer guy from PE who can't sing, so I won't be trying that. And I was also told when I was at university, I went to university at Rhodes, that I can't dance either. Actually, they didn't say I can't dance. They said I dance like a white guy. So I haven't tried singing or dancing since I was about 19. So I won't be doing it at the moment. I must say, what a pleasure it is just to be standing here. Like Loyiso said, it's fourth one. Wow. And I think I've actually done 3 of the 4 ones. And I think the first one was actually probably about just a couple of months after I joined Business Day, after being away from the country for so long. So this Absa Development, Supplier Development Awards have become quite a definitive feature of my Joburg life. And I'm so happy to be back in person. And welcome to everybody else who's watching in their pajamas. But it's so great to see you all in person. I mean, no, you don't need to tell me what a traumatic 18 months has been for all of us. You know, not being able to interact with our colleagues and our friends and not being able to be at work. Like, you know, I mean, I go to the office and whenever I see somebody, I always feel like hugging them, and obviously I shouldn't, unless I want to make the headlines, rather than write them. You know? So on that note, I really like to welcome everybody back here, and it's a great pleasure to have everybody here. And of course, I'd like to big word of thanks to Absa. I'm even wearing my Arsenal scarf. I mean, Arsenal tie, sorry, not a scarf. Especially for Absa. So I call it my Arsenal one, just in case other bankers are here and they feel like, and then I have to have a net bank tie for the next thing, so which I don't own. So officially, it's my Arsenal tie. And of course, like our partners, Fatola and Cold Press Media, thank you once again for making this happen. I mean it's such a big event in the calendar of Business Day, and it's such an important event for where the country needs to go. And I mean, we all know here why we're here and why supplier development is so important. And I think the last 18 months, we've seen so many small businesses under so much stress. It just highlighted the role that businesses like yourselves, they do in terms of supporting smaller businesses and in terms of like building an economy that's more inclusive, an economy when we know what it's looking like, 34% unemployment, and we know the levels of hunger and poverty out there. I mean, I was in Cape Town last week, and people were just saying to me like how when you could see like how the level of homelessness in the city of Cape Town compared to 2 years ago. I haven't been there for 2 years, and it's completely exploded. And I think we can all play a small role in healing our country and fixing it. And this is one of the ways we do this. Is one of the most important ways to do it. And before I get off the stage and let the important people who need to say important things, like I mean, this year I don't know, many of you have been reading Business Day and reading our op-eds, and like I really want to thank Vusifele, David Mparuta, and Catherine Weinberg, and like over there for the really informative pieces. They are there on the Business Day website. You don't even have to subscribe to go and read them. I mean, they're all worth a read, and I would encourage you to go back there, and they'll say they're much more fundamental than anything I can say here. So all that's left for me is really to say welcome to everybody and good luck to all our finalists. And you know, I think this is one competition where, like, you know, winning is good, but I think being in the game is also as important. And that's what they used to tell me when I used to lose every like at school. Taking part is the most important thing. But in this case, I think it is true. And we all play our role, and we're all making a big difference to our country, and we're all making it better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Siyabulela Tatu Lucanyo, as we now watch a short video from our sponsor, Absa.
Absa's Supplier Diversity Program is about building for the future, building big, building bold, and being tenacious. And Africanicity is at the core of it, finding solutions creatively for every challenge to move us forward. Well, SMMEs are a pivotal part of building our economy. One from a point of job creation, but moreover from ensuring that societies have got a future tomorrow. As you know, in South Africa specifically, one job feeds about 5 people. So you can imagine, if you do this right, the positive impact in the society is great. The concept of Ubuntu is just a spirit of humanity. For any person to be successful, there's an African proverb that says, a child is raised by a village. And for me, seeing other human beings relating correctly and interconnected and helping others succeed is what drives me. To see people becoming better and progressively, if not exponentially so. by climbing on each other's shoulders. There's no single problem that we can solve by being individuals. The Absa Supplier Diversity Program is about impact, sustainability, and delivering the greater good for society. It's a bright, shining Africa.
Fantastic. Please welcome me in Please join me in welcoming. No, English is not my mother's tongue. The Absa Chief Procurement Officer, Vusi Fele.
Well. Don't ask me to put it back, okay? Especially from here. Distinguished guests and colleagues present here, and those that are watching us online, the moment has come. Therefore, it gives me a great pleasure to congratulate all our participants, our nominees, on this very great occasion of the Absa Business Day Development Award 2021. Let me from the onset just recognize all the hard work that has been put by every one of us in this room, which is a work that is impactful, a work that drives our country forward, but it's a work that I want to say is a work with a bedrock and underwritten by purpose. So this comes true even during our very difficult moment and challenging conditions that we operated in 2020 and up to now, where all of you and all of us in this room have done so much behind the scenes to impact our societies positively. You all therefore deserve a big hand of applause. In this fourth successive year that Absa has been proud sponsor of these important awards, which recognize and honor some of the leading champions, both individuals and corporates, for supplier and enterprise development. It is in events like this that we should put aside what we deem as the bottom line. Because without the purpose and without the impact visible, the bottom line means but nothing. So with COVID, that has come as a pandemic and really hit us hard in the country and caused havoc across our spaces. It is again demonstrated by the resilience of all of you, your chief executives, your boards, that have underwritten and supported this great work. So therefore, let us enjoy tonight, and all the nominees, the participants, whether you get a prize or not tonight, it is a journey worth embarking on. May God bless you.
Thank you, Tatu Vusi. They don't put that in the script, by the way. It's confusing as an African child to be calling your elders by their first name. So Tatu Vusi, thank you very much. Hey, it's tough. I remember meeting my first white person. Hi, Louise. Hi, I'm Janice. Okay, Mom Janice. Now, up next, we have the keynote address presented by a Mr. Isaac Nkama. Isaac is a this is a very qualified person. So brace yourselves. Get ready to feel uneducated. This is a gentleman who is a formally qualified professional futurist and foresight strategist. He was born in Zambia, of a Zambian father and South African mother, so African colored. Isaac has a postgraduate diploma and master's degree, both in futures studies. In addition, he has an MBA, an MSc in leadership, and is 2 weeks away from completing his 4th master's degree, which is MSc in real estate. He is also a chartered marketer. I'm not done. He is on the board of the African Futures Council and is a contributing author to 2 books, Business Futures 2017, and Forward, the Future of Higher Education in Africa, which are both published by Stellenbosch University. He is an expert in analyzing how various components of the future might unfold and uses these possible outcomes to empower organizations and leaders with valuable and important global, continental, and local insights. He combines strategic foresight and future studies with his other qualifications as well as business experience in order to contextualize issues from a unique perspective that is both broad and interconnected. This is all on his business card when he gives you later. It is A4. Please welcome onto stage Ndate Isaac Ngama.
Thank you so much, Lois. So you are very deeply talented, and what's unique about it is that it comes out so naturally. Also, thank you to all the participants. Congratulations to you for making it up to this far. And ladies and gentlemen, I feel both humbled and privileged to be speaking to you today. I think the first place to start off with whenever one speaks about futures is to start speaking just a brief background on what futures is, because it's really a very new field that very few people know very little about. The first people ever to qualify in future studies in the world were only in 1979. In the US. And it came out from what transpired in the Second World War, with the generals of the US Army being rather puzzled that they were unable to anticipate the attack by the Japanese on Pearl Harbor. And it was basically trying to decipher, how did we miss this? And they began using it informally. But it was not until 1979 when it was put structurally into a program, and the University of Houston was the first one to offer it. And because of that, there are less than 50 universities in the world that offer this program, which produces professional futurists or foresight strategists. That is, those who have formally studied the field and its methodologies. Unfortunately for us, there's only one university of those less than 50 in the world that offered formally, that is in Africa, and that is Stellenbosch Business School. It's a multidisciplinary field, and it's both a science and an art. So you have to have a love for reading from philosophy to the sciences, from technology to medicine, because all these things are interconnected. You can't like one and not like the other. I'm often asked if scenario planning is another name for this profession. And the answer is no, it is not. In future studies, you use various methodologies. And I've just put up some of them. Those are just some of them. And as you can see, I've highlighted it there at number 10. Scenario planning is not another name for this field. Scenario planning is only a part of this field. It's just one of the methodologies. So I'm not sure how the confusion came about that people in this field are called scenario planning, but it is just one of the methodologies. I thought I should start with that brief sort of educational perspective because I was of the impression that you may find it a bit valuable. Let's start off with just a general outlook. And there's quite a bit to cover, so you will excuse me if I move a little bit fast. I normally try to explain things in detail, but there are certain areas where I will go into a little bit of an emphasis. So if I do go a little bit fast. Please excuse me, it's because I'm trying to cover as much as possible and so that I don't leave anything out. One of the biggest problems that the world will continue facing is inequality. We have at the moment 1% of the world's population owning 50% of the wealth. That is going to create social problems in the future. Because of that and other variables, the increase of radicalism, the increase of nationalism, and a variety of other factors, there will be more wars inside countries than in between countries. And again, that symbolizes civil strife. That's a great departure from the past, where wars were often between countries. And now we are going to have more wars inside countries than in between countries. The world becomes co-governed by governments, but also by business. Business is becoming very, very powerful. And in many instances, business is becoming more powerful than governments. Just to give you an example, of the world's 100 largest economies, the top 100 economies in the world, more than half are not countries, but are corporations. And that trend will continue. It never used to be like that. The largest economies were always countries. A lot of bad has come from COVID, but a lot of good has come. One of the things that has happened is that multilateralism has strengthened because countries have recognized that resolving your own problems does not help you if your neighbor's problems are not resolved. And if there's any lesson that we needed, it is COVID. And so that has been very good for the strengthening of multilateral organizations. One topical issue that people talk about is China is challenging America in terms of power. And I'm often asked, is it true? And my answer is always a very simple one. Yes and no. And I want to repeat the and no. You see, when we contextualize power in that context, power is divided into two. You have the hard power. Hard power is your economy, your military strength, your scientific advancement, your infrastructural development, all those tangibles. That is what you call hard power. The soft power, and in terms of hard power, for sure China is challenging America, without doubt. Soft power is the extent to which people adopt your ways. When children watch cartoons, it's American. When children go to movies, it's American. When they listen to music, it's American. Habits, traits, it's American. When they ask for takeaway foods, whether it's Burger King or McDonald's or whatever, soft drinks, it's American. In that power, the power of the United States is unmatched by any other country, and no other country comes anywhere close to matching the soft power of the United States. And what has been significant about American power is that America is the only power that has been powerful and dominant in the world in both hard power and soft power. China is growing in hard power, but not in soft power. And so when we say China is challenging America in terms of power, we need to qualify that. We don't usually do. But why is China doing so well in terms of hard power? We'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get that, while on China, let's talk about Chinese relations with Africa and what we see for the future. The relationships are increasingly being perceived to be one-sided. And that is because when China came into the continent, one of the things that African countries liked is the fact that Chinese investors and Chinese government didn't care about whether you had prisoners of war or whether you had political prisoners. They just wanted their resource. If they came into your country and they were looking for copper, that's all they looked for. They didn't care whether you had human rights, whether you were democratic or not. And many African countries were attracted to that. Someone who comes in to invest and doesn't meddle in it. And so it became very easy. And especially for those regimes that were authoritarian, an investor like China was very good. The problem is, they were so welcome that in the end, African countries became very deeply indebted to China. And that created problems. And already there are underlying sentiments, resentment with African countries beginning to feel these people have taken a lot more than they have given. And that is beginning to build a lot of resentment. It's not yet out there, but expected to come. And so the relations will start cracking. That presents an opportunity for US and Europe to reassert themselves in Africa. The US has just come out of a foreign policy dilemma under Mr. Donald Trump, who was not very Africa-friendly, and basically their foreign policy did not do too well under Donald Trump. You all know that, so I will not even go into it. So it creates an opportunity for the US and Europe to reassert their influence. And it is good for Africa in the sense that you are now going to have the US, China, and Europe all competing for Africa's attention. That means in terms of trade, aid, and all kinds of bilateral commercial relations, the terms and conditions will be much better for Africa because each of these are going to be trying to be outdoing the other. And Africa will be like that princess who has these three princes, China, the United States, and Europe, who are all clamoring for her attention. Now, we live in an era of innovation. An abundance of natural resources will never, ever guarantee you wealth. But so too does a lack of resources does not mean that it will lead you to poverty. And Japan is one such country. Japan was built on innovation. Innovation will create more value than resources. And if you have any doubt, you look at the top 100 companies. If you look at the composition of the top 100 companies, they all have one thing in common. Increasingly, those companies that are based on innovation and technology are continuing to grow, to dominate. Google, Samsung, Telsa, Yahoo, Amazon, not necessarily in that order, but they are beginning to take the upper tiers of the top 100 companies. And those that are resource-based are going lower and lower. Now, how do we measure innovation? Because that's very important. Because in tomorrow's world, innovation is going to be a lot more important than resources, and I will show you why. But how do we measure innovation? How do we measure whether a society is going to be innovative, or how innovative a society is going to be? One of the easiest ways and one of the most logical ways is we take the number of graduates that we produce each year, and amongst those, we then calculate the percentage of those that come from the science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. And each one of those sectors in their broader senses. So when we look at engineering, when we look at technology, mathematics, science, we are including medicine. So each one of those is in its very broad senses. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The higher the percentage that you have of people from those fields, the better for your innovation. And why innovation is so important is because there is a relationship between the amount of innovation that you do and the amount of economic growth, especially for tomorrow's economy. Now, in Europe, 14% of their graduates come from the STEM environment. In the United States, it's 17%, obviously both coming from a high rate and a high base, historically. India is 32%. China is 40%. I want to pause here for a minute because I can read the body language. You are all saying, what about Africa? I feel reluctant to share with you that some parts of Africa are as low as 3%. Now, and this is there are two warnings I have tonight. This is one of them, warnings to leaders. I liken that to a chef's economy. And that is a term that I deliberately gave it. And why a chef's economy? I want you to imagine, ladies and gentlemen, just for a while, a society where we train a lot of chefs, well-qualified chefs who can prepare the best recipes. And we train loads of them. But somewhere along the line, we forgot that these chefs need to have something to cook. We need to have people that grow the food, that manufacture the fertilizer, the insecticide, the pesticides, the spices, all along the value chain. And the question is, if we are training all these chefs, but we are not training anyone who's going to grow the food that the chefs are going to prepare, what are these chefs going to cook? Likewise, if we are training all these administrators that we are on the continent, skills that are based on administration, highly qualified, highly skilled administrators, but we are not producing the skills that are going to contribute to the growth of those economies, all of these highly trained administrators, what are they going to administer? Hence the chef's analogy. This point is so important because if we don't rectify this, this will affect the future of Africa's economy in the future in a very negative way. Because the economy of the future is going to be based on innovation. Those who innovate are those who produce the skills to innovate. We are producing more graduates each year than we did the previous year. Yes, we are. But we are not producing the right skills. Now, there is no useless skill. There is nothing like a useless skill. It doesn't exist because every skill has its use. But there is certainly a problem in producing a lot more of the skills that you already have an oversupply of, and literally not producing anything of the skills that you need the most for tomorrow. Now, that is a problem, but how do we rectify it? There are three things we can do. One is to introduce STEM salary bands in the educational system, to encourage more teachers into that field. And you may say it's unfair. No, it's not unfair. You look at the organogram of any company, look at directors, they're all equal on the organogram. Do they get the same? They don't. The second is to link the scholarship institutions of governance, the NESFAS related, and here I must stress that I'm not speaking about any specific country, but the continent as a whole. And so link the issuance of scholarships to the national need of those particular professions, so that you will have certain bursaries, certain skills that get 100% bursary. Some get 90%, 80%, and so on, depending on its usefulness to the economy at that particular time. If we had more time, I was going to share something that I've done along this route. But I'm sure you get what I'm talking about. And the third is to elevate the entrance criteria in teacher training colleges. Throughout the continent, every time there's a problem in the educational system, what do people look for? They change the curriculum. And then something goes wrong, then they change the curriculum. But you can have the best curriculum if you don't have the teachers to teach those curriculums, then it's as good as your efforts are as good as nothing. So we need a good curriculum. But likewise, we need good teachers. And so if we elevate the entrance criteria into teacher training colleges, we elevate the standard of teachers. And if we do that, we automatically elevate what we produce from those teachers. Because fixing the chef's economy is not going to happen on its own. We have got to intervene. We can't just wish that we produce more STEM subjects and then it will happen. We have to intervene. And these are amongst the interventions, these are some of the. Now, and I want you to remember, sir, with your very important paper, Business Day, that the chef's economy is going to be a very, very, very serious thing for the continent as a whole. Now, we've just come from a very difficult situation with Corona, and it's changed some things, many sectors. We don't have time to get into all of them. But one of the sectors that has changed is retail. And I'm touching on retail specifically because you all deal with retail. But before we touch on retail, on some of the trends and developments in retail, let's look at the sizes of retail. So, in other words, in any particular country, how many square meters of retail does that country have? All the shopping malls, the centers put together. So the US is number one. Those are the top 5. Sir, can I ask you to take a guess as to which country is number 6 in the world? Sorry? Can we give him a round of applause, please? Yes, South Africa is number 6. Many people don't know that there are only 5 countries in the entire world that have more shopping centers than South Africa. And it has a history. And those are the rest of the top 10. By the way, of those 24 million square meters in South Africa, almost half, Gauteng, 11 million is in this province alone. 3.5 million is in the Western Cape, 3.3 is in KZN. Those 3 provinces put together make up 75% of the total retail space of South Africa. Now, because of all the factors that you know, reduced demand for retail space is going to lead to lower rentals, and newly built malls in the future are going to be smaller, much smaller. And then some of the regional malls are going to have conversions. So imagine a place like Eastgate, and some of these will be converted into what I call live, work, shop, leisure developments. So you have a place like Eastgate where it's been reconverted. You have a part that is apartments, a part that is offices, a part that is leisure, and a part that is retail. So your entire life is there. And that will introduce a new lifestyle. And this new lifestyle will be really highly sought after by young professionals and middle-aged professionals. And essentially, COVID has been to the retail sector what 9/11 was to aviation. Now, if you look at the SMEs and corporations, SMEs, generally speaking, are closer to the customer. And because they are closer to the customer, they're more responsive. I'll show you a video in a short while that will show you that. And they will continue to increase their rate of innovation. And the relationship going forward between SMEs and corporations is that increasingly, SMEs are going to be the initiators of innovation, and large corporations will be the perfecters. You know, if you look at, for instance, the hand sanitizer dispensers that you find everywhere, that was from the SMEs, again, because of being closer. And the duty of corporations is to just perfect them and produce them en masse. The slower processes of the larger corporations sometimes tend to deter innovation, and also the legalities. Please Call Me is one example. So if Please Call Me had been an SME that was selling its concept to a large corporation, there wouldn't have been that court case. So large corporations need to refine their processes, their internal processes, if they are to increase innovation. Because often what large corporations do is they hire talented people into the corporation, and they feel that that is going to help them innovate. But you can bring the best talents into the corporation. If the climate, the environment, the legalities do not allow for that innovation to thrive and to prosper, it doesn't matter how much talent you bring in, it's useless. And also the relationship is going to be more of, usually large corporations were buying the smaller corporations. But in this instance, in the future, you're going to see a lot of smaller corporations saying, no, we don't want to be bought over. Let's have a strategic relationship. You bring us your challenges and we'll find your solutions. And increasingly, that's going to be the type of relationship. I was asked to make sure that I include this, probably just to motivate some of you entrepreneurs. Private jets are going to have competition from a very unlikely source, from the commercial aircrafts. And how can a commercial aircraft be competition for a private jet? Really? But yes, it's true. We have at the moment 3 classes of aircrafts, and those are obviously first class, business, and economy. But you are now already having private cabins. 3 airlines have already got this now. This is started. Whereby within the airline, within the aircraft, you have those people that want to fly in a private cabin. And so you will not find the necessity for private jets in certain routes. And you have these private cabins, that's the section there. You have these private, this is a family apartment. That's got a lounge, it's got a kitchenette, it's got everything. So this is the new way of traveling. And I just thought I should add that. By the way, to some of the entrepreneurs here, I'm sure that in the next 2 years, at least half of you will be flying private cabins. So. Now, we have 4IR, which has been touted very well and so on. But this is the second warning that I'm giving. I have 2 warnings. The first one was the chef's economy, and this is the second warning. There is a danger that we may distort the meaning of innovation through how we implement 4IR. Because we need to avoid digitizing and being technology-centric in how we view and implement 4IR. Because not all innovations are based on digitization. And before I go to the next point, I'm going to show you something here. Now, you will all agree with me on 2 things. Firstly, that had nothing to do with digitization or technology. But secondly, you all agree that that was extremely innovative. That's in Kibera, in a shanty town outside of Nairobi. So our interpretations of innovation as Africa needs to be both practical and realistic. It must be a blend of ideas that contribute to world solutions, but also contribute to our own problems, because we have unique problems. Africa must define its own interpretation of innovation. Because if we try to implement the innovation of others that fits into their environments to fit it into ours, we will get it wrong, and we will say that there is something wrong with 4IR. So if there's one warning that I would like to give is that leaders must ensure that 4IR is implemented in a manner that does not leave certain sections of our society behind. 4IR must not be turned into an elitist issue, because innovation is not only for the elite. I would like to end by talking about the prickly pear. The prickly pear is a very delicious fruit, and we don't have it all the time. But what's inside it is very delicious. The future is very desirable. The prickly pear has many thorns in it that lead us to the delicacy that is on the inside. The future has many good prospects for us. But when we pick the prickly pear, we pick it with care and with a lot of tact because we don't want to be pricked. Because of the complexities of the future, where the world is becoming extremely complex, when we do our planning for the future, we need to plan extremely carefully, very, very carefully, meticulously, and leaving nothing to chance. If we are as careful with how we approach the future as we are with how we pick the prickly pear, then we will all arrive at the delicacy that the future can be for each one of you and your respective companies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored to have spoken to you today.
Thank you very much, sir. That was fascinating. One more time for, I will call you doctor. I am giving you an honorary doctorate myself. That was so fascinating. Thank you so much, sir. Man, it must be so hard being your child. Because when you get lectured, you have to take notes. Can you imagine? That little prickly pear thing reminded me of when we were children and we would pick the prickly pear, and in our haste for the delicious centers, would obviously get pricked on our tongues. And somebody once told us, well, the other kids were like, oh, just put cow dung on your tongue. And it removes it. And it worked. I have no idea what that's got to do with the economy, but maybe something about if we approach the future in haste, you have to deal with a lot of bull. Should we continue the evening and maybe get into the awards section? Guys, this is your thing. Should we get into the awards section? Fantastic. Let's keep that energy. And to help me kick it off, I would like to call onto stage a young somebody who has been giving me a lot of stress before the show. She was roasting me the entire time. She is the CEO of Fatola and co-founder of Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards. And I will get her back before the end of this evening. Please welcome onto stage Catherine Weinberg.
It's hard to follow after Isaac. Such a really important and inspiring but thoughtful presentation. So as a woman, I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and I'm going to start off by telling a story. I have 3 daughters. The youngest one loves to shop. I can't stand shopping. And so as COVID was coming to its close and these kind of events were starting to come on the calendar, I said to her, Kate, I need a new wardrobe. Yes, Mum, she says, no problem, give me the credit card. And so off she went and she bought me this beautiful wardrobe of clothes, really clothes upon clothes upon clothes. And I tried them on and they were fantastic. There was organic cotton and everything. I just felt so fantastic. And then I had a look at the label. Made in China, made in China, made in China, made in China. Every single one of those garments was made in China. And I said, sweetheart, tomorrow we're going unshopping. And I went back and I unshopped the whole lot. And we went out together and we bought South African-made clothes. And for the first time in my life, I loved shopping. I felt, for each purchase, I felt as though I was doing something really meaningful. And I came away feeling inspired. And I'm going to leave this here as inspiration for you ladies and maybe for you gents as well. When you shop, let's shop local, right? So anyway, good evening. My name is Catherine Weinberg, and I'm CEO of Fatola. I'm really inspired about the radical scaling of small businesses as a way to engage inclusive economic transformation and job creation. I do this by leading a dynamic partnership of growth professionals who build businesses that last. And that means reliable, responsible, and resilient companies, those companies that really anchor our economy. But partnership and collaboration is really key to being able to deliver results at scale. And it's in this role that I'm a founding partner, along with Cold Press Media and Arena Holdings, of these Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards. And their purpose is really to unlock the potential of supplier development as a tool for inclusive growth. So it's been a real honor to lead these awards for the last 4 years. And I'm inspired by the incredible results that have been achieved, even in this year, a year with challenges of the pandemic, of ongoing economic uncertainty, rolling blackouts, and riots. And so for this, and a couple of other people have said the same thing, I really think every single person, each and every one of you that has applied to the awards, needs to be commended for just being part of the system and for the effort and energy to stay positive in the face of so much difficulty and often personal tragedy. It speaks to the remarkable African spirit of survival, even in these most trying times. This year, the Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards have extended their reach into Africa, inviting us to share inspiring stories of Africa-wide success. And as a person born in Zambia, thank you, Isaac, we're fellow countrymen. That really means a lot to me that we're going out into the rest of Africa. So over the last 4 years, I've also seen that supplier development has really moved and become an important strategy for many corporate executives. It used to be just simple compliance, and it's really become a strategic tool where people have recognized it's a really valuable opportunity to build lasting competitive advantage. And the best of these companies have gone well beyond the scorecard to really doing supplier development right, because it's the right thing to do. And the winners today have showcased and demonstrated 4 things: supplier development as a strategic priority and real key competitive advantage, commitment to building thriving and inclusive supply chains, industry collaboration in order to achieve scale and impact, and then commitment to best practice in the ecosystem, and more than that, creating a slipstream for others to follow. And these are the companies that we're here today to celebrate. But I'd like to take this opportunity to give thanks to our advisory panel, who play such a pivotal role in shaping the awards and whose expertise has helped to shape this year's event as we moved into Africa. Their collective wisdom ensured that the 2021 Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards will continue to guide transformation for the coming year as well. I'd also like to give thanks to our judges, because judging is such a vital component of these awards. The judges are selected every year on their reputation, their integrity, and experience in the sector. And the task was especially difficult this year, requiring really careful deliberation and personal commitment as we reviewed these really exceptional results. And in the end, there were only 4 points separating the top 4 scoring companies. And believe me, that's really close. Our results were independently audited by BDO, and for another year we have a clean audit, which is always a really good thing. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, who had to dig deep into their pockets to make the continuation of these awards possible. And so thank you for your valued support and the belief in the work we do to positively impact the world and to impact the societies that we live in as well. And so, VIPs, guests, finalists, participants, and our online audience, I invite you to join me tonight as we celebrate, recognize, and award category finalists and winners for their highly deserving achievements. But before we go, I'd like to say a special thanks to our partners, Arena Holdings and Cold Press Media, and to our sponsor, Absa, who've walked this journey with us for over the 4 years and been part of dreaming that dream of Africa and staying true to our focus of real value through impact on communities, citizens, small suppliers, and the companies that they serve. Absa, you can be proud of the work that you do to remind us that as Africans, we are remarkable people that always find solutions and a way to get things done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought you brought the bag up here because you didn't trust that guy. I wouldn't trust him either. Thank you. You'll be helping me with the awards, so you're going to stand over there for me. You can go. You're done now. We will hear no more from you, young lady. I'd also like to welcome back onto stage Ntate Vusifele and Michael Pile, who has two accents in his name, who is the Senior Manager of Supplier Diversity at Absa, to hand over the awards with Catherine. Welcome onto stage, please. Thank you very much. So, when the winner of each award is announced, please come onto stage and stand between Catherine and Ntate Vusi. Yes, fantastic. Yes, social distancing for government. Thank you very much. And ensure to please wear your mask. First award category is Newcomer Award. Now, this award acknowledges companies that have recently initiated a new and successful strategic supply development program or project. The finalists are Fidelity Service Group, GEMS, Ituba National Lottery, Sanofi Aventis South Africa, and Uyandiswa Project Management Services, whose mom is here in the audience. And the winner is Uyandiswa Project Management Services. Uyandiswa differentiate their supply development efforts by letting the not government approved, efforts by letting the SMEs hold them accountable to ensure they deliver on their promises. Supply development beneficiaries use Uyandiswa premises and infrastructure so that their close proximity promotes partnering, mentorship, and collaboration. For Uyandiswa, supply development is a business imperative that ensures they actively contribute towards alleviating the social ills brought on largely by poverty and lack of access. No, you can, congratulations to you. No need to wait for me, Mr. Cameraman. You do your thing. I'll be here reading too much English. There'll be a lot of English, so listen properly. As we move to Innovation Award. This award acknowledges companies that have shown creativity and merit in design thinking and innovation in their commitment to catalyze small supplier success. The finalists are Exaro Resources, SPA, and V&A Waterfront. And the winner is V&A Waterfront. Congratulations to you. As we now move to Youth Focused Award. This award acknowledges companies that are achieving exceptional results in supporting the success of youth-led suppliers. The finalists are Anglo-American Zimele, Ituba National Lottery, and VNA Waterfront. And the winner is Anglo-American Zimele. Congratulations to you, Zimele. As we move now to Women Focused Award sponsored by Cold Press Media. Now, this award acknowledges companies that are achieving exceptional results in supporting the success of women-owned small suppliers. And the finalists here are Anglo-American Zimele, Impact Group, Ituba National Lottery, and Sanlam Foundation. And the winner is Impact Group.
So this program was started back in October for this current year, but this has been going on for years now. As a business, we've been running this program every single year. So the benefits of this supplier development program that we're running are twofold. It has benefits for our business, which ultimately is what we are looking for, is that we add value to our shareholders, to our stakeholders, and to our clients. And likewise, we add value to our supplier, that they are able to grow and develop, benefit from the experience and the mentorship that we are able to give them from the skills that they don't have in their business. And in turn, they grow their business, they become more successful, they employ more people from the community, and eventually the country will benefit from the new skills and the growth and job opportunities.
And the other opportunity is your internships and learnerships. So with internships is learners that are coming from universities where your organization will be giving them work exposure. You will recruit the learners within your community, you host them because we want you to give them work exposure.
A tagline for Tebe as a group is that building communities is our bottom line. We don't only measure the bottom line in terms of the financials, but you measure bottom line in terms of the impact. We want to build a business. And that should be a business with a difference. And the desire, and that's where the tagline came from, that building communities is our bottom line, was that we are going to build a business, yes, that is profitable, but for the benefit of doing what? Of transforming our communities. And when we talk about transformation of communities, we talk about both our communities as we know where we come from, but also our communities as in terms of the companies that we operate with.
Fantastic. We now move to Rural and Township Focus Award. Now, this award acknowledges companies who have exceptional results in supporting the success of rural and township-based small suppliers. And here, the finalists are Distal, Impact Group, and SPAR. And the winner is SPAR.
When you walk into a supermarket, we take a lot for granted. I spend a lot of time just thinking, I wonder if they ever really just stop for a moment and just think, wow, where did that actually come from? And how did it get here? And in fact, who put it here? And that's quite an interesting story.
My name is Leida. I'm the owner of this farm. I started farming when I was still young. My mother was a fabulous woman. She is my hero. She was teaching me how to look after my crop, to be a hard worker, and then I was keep on farming until now I'm farming on a big scale. I employed women because the women is the ones who can pick very fast and they know what they're doing. I teach them to do the same as me, to do farming, and then they can get money to look after their families.
I work at SPA as a junior technical advisor. I'm the bridge between the farmers and the packers.
Dumi know much better than me because she's educated better than me. Before the training, we didn't know what's going on. We were using the chemical in a wrong way. We know now how to look after our crops, what kind of fertilizers, what kind of chemicals, how we keep our records. So if we can just work together with her theory and with my practical, so we will make a nice job.
It's fantastic. I just found out today I'm not good at picking. Okay. Just genetically. As we move to Emerging Technology Award. And in this award, we acknowledge initiatives that are achieving exceptional results in supporting technology-related small suppliers, or using technology as an effective tool to support small suppliers. And here the finalists are Distel, Exaro Resources, and VNA Waterfront. And the winner is Exaro Resources. Deb, thank you. Exaro Resources has digitalized their sourcing to payment supplier interface platform, providing an easy way to suppliers to interact with the company. Exaro Resources provide IT support to facilitate participation. Suppliers update their documents online with a system alerting them when documents are expiring. The system provides a full data audit trial of tenders, suppliers, documentation, and procurement details, which can be filtered, audited, and reported on. That is a lot of English. Phew. As we now move to Localization Award. And in this award, we acknowledge companies who have successfully supported local small suppliers that have notable import substitution and or export market potential. The finalists are Impact Group, Distel, and SPA. And the winner is Impact Group. All right, are we still here? Are we still good? Yeah. There's still hope in the air. Some people are like, yeah. Still got a bunch of awards to go through, and we're going to go into the next one, which is Collaboration Award, sponsored by Fatola. Now, the Collaboration Award acknowledges companies for their strategic action to develop industry relationships and foster cross-sector collaboration for the benefit of the wider ecosystem. The finalists here are Distal, Impact Group, Exaro Resources, Tiger Brands, and VNA Waterfront. And the winner is Tiger Brands.
Tiger Brands is one of Africa's biggest food manufacturers that is very heavily reliant on agricultural produce. The inputs that we are requiring don't make it very easy for your smallholder and small-scale farmers to participate. The magic comes in the aggregator model. Put 57 of them together and suddenly you have got 500 hectares delivering as a collective, so they are able to meet the kinds of volumes that we are looking for. Tiger Brands would ensure that they have access to markets, access to capital, access to technical expertise, the three key components of making them successful. Our fortunes are so inextricably linked to the fortunes of ordinary South Africans. It's building Tiger Brands' own sustainable future to create an inclusive economic system.
Congratulations. My brother, you left those ladies behind. You were like, I am the tiger. Hey! In your head, you're tan, 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 tan. Yeah. And they're walking up graciously like, look at him. Fantastic. As we now move to the COVID-19 Recovery Award. This acknowledges companies who implement innovative and impactful strategies to ensure supply development resilience during the 2020-2021 COVID-19 pandemic. And the finalists here are Distal, Exaro Resources, and VNA Waterfront. In the winner chic and Dina is Distal.
The Distal Enterprise and Supplier Development Program is based on providing our ESD beneficiaries with a package of support services that really address the specific needs that they have and the specific challenges that they are encountering in their businesses. And essentially our offering is based around three specific areas. The first is around facilitating access to markets, and that obviously entails them accessing our supply chain through the provision of either product or service. The second area is around facilitating access to finance, and in that regard it's primarily favorable payment terms that our ESD beneficiaries receive, or long-term zero-interest loans for capital acquisitions. The third area is around the provision of general business development support services such as HR, finance or legal counseling and support that the company may need. And there we employ third-party service providers to deliver those services. And that is really the essence of what we're doing. It's to identify the specific needs that our ESD beneficiaries have, and then to deliver that as a single service offering so that the company really receives tailor-made support based on the needs that it has at a particular moment in time.
Hier bij Stellar Agri is ons bezig met verschillende projecten. Maar ons nou zijn bij een van die projecten, dat is die Wat Lemoen project. En die volgende projecten is die Pampoenproject, die Spanspekproject. En dan is er Tappelproject gehad en dan die Zaadkoolproject. Want die werk wordt gedaan door onze eigen mensen, waar hulle ook verschillende vaardigheden leren binnen die werksplek. En ons kwaliteit van ons product is zo goed dat het zelfs opeindig beraken van Woolworths. Onze waardering uitspreekt in orde stel, wat ons geholpen in die moeilijke tijden. En zodoende kan ons weer bij Stella Agri meer werksgelegenheden scheppen aan ons mensen en ons gemeenschap.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Stel. I'm even more impressed to see you all drinking water. It's been a while. As we move now to Impact Award, sponsored by Business Day. And this award acknowledges a company whose supplier development initiatives have been shown to substantially impact the value chain and provide evidence of scale of impact. The finalists are Anglo-American Zimele, Impact Group, and Exaro Resources. And the winner is Anglo-American Zimele. Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations to you, Zimele. Are you ladies and gentlemen, are you guys okay? You fine? All right. I'm asking the ladies. As a feminist, I have to check in. Don't worry, ladies, I brought my uncomfortable shoes in solidarity today. I am dying up here. Small Supplier Awards, sponsored by IDC. Now, this award acknowledges a small supplier nominated by their corporate supplier development partner that has excelled in accelerating their own and their clients' success. Can I please ask at this point for the representative of the IDC to please join us in handing over this award? All the way from the back. Long walk from freedom. No, don't rush, sir. Don't rush. Take your time. Excellent, excellent. Look, smooth. You're on TV. Excellent, sir. Wow, now everyone looks short all of a sudden. Obviously, I couldn't tell. I was like, normal size. Oh, no. It's a huge person. And the finalists in this category are Black Powder, nominated by Wonderman Thompson. Mama's Flowers, nominated by VNA Waterfront. And Stella Agri, nominated by Distal. And the winner is Stella Agri, nominated by Distal. Got a representative, please come up. Through Distal's relationship with their suppliers, Stella Wines, they partnered with Stella Agri to create a joint venture to finance Lucas Tiernissen, a youth from the local rural area, to establish Stella Agri. Lucas's technical competence ensured that in just 3 years, the venture had become a major producer of organic vegetables for the local retailers like Woolworths, where supply was based on production quality and volumes. Through Distal's further investment of 300,000 Rand in continuous training of Stella Agri's staff and management training for Lucas, he now manages the farm and most of the business operations and works with Stella Winery on the domestic and international marketing and business development of Stella Agri. Congratulations. Thank you for your work. Okay, we are moving now to outstanding growth in a small supplier award. The Outstanding Growth in a Small Supplier Award is nominated by a corporate partner that has helped to accelerate the growth of a small supplier to an annual turnover more than 50 million rand. That's small. I felt poor earlier when I found out about the cabins, but apparently I'm not even small. I'm not even small. Okay, let's look at the finalists, these small people. They are MB Resources, nominated by Exaro Resources, Pavati Plastics, nominated by Bidvest Afcon, and Stella Agri, nominated by Distal. If those are the nominees. And the winner is MB Resources, nominated by Exaro Resources. Could a representative please come onto stage? I love the enthusiasm. Lirato Lilaka of MB Resources runs a South African contract mining and consulting business offering geological mining, material handling and stockpile and coal quality management services. In 2019, in response to the pandemic, Exaro invested and allocated 200 million to ESD transformation. MB Resources was one of the companies that benefited from Exaro Resources, providing MB Resources with a zero-interest loan of 25 million to acquire mining operations assets. Do you know how expensive it is to write jokes? I don't know if you supply it. As a result, MB Resources were able to create employment opportunities in the mining community of Belfast. MBR demonstrated sustained growth during this challenging period, with 94 people unemployed in 2018, growing to 279 in 2021, and increased revenue from 38 million to 377.5 million in the same period. Small stuff, small, tiny, incremental. Well done, MB Resources. Thank you for your work and support. Whew. All right. Judges Recognition Awards, African Commendations. Now we are reaching out into the continent. For the first time since inception, the Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards has been extended to include nominations from sub-Saharan Africa. The Sahara, dodgy. We believe that this will inspire African companies to join the supplier development ecosystem and participate in the African Supplier Development Awards in the future. Please welcome David Mbarutsa, Head of Enterprise and Supplier Development ex-SA Absa, to join us on stage to hand over these awards. Deb. Everybody's a gangster now. Now, unfortunately, our brothers from other motherlands could not join us today, but we will be receiving their awards on their behalf, and we will send it to them, but not via the post office. We'll send someone. We'll pick randomly in the crowd. Judges African Commendation for Commitment to Economic Empowerment across the supply chain is awarded to Debswana Botswana. Now, Debswana has introduced a Citizen Economic Empowerment Policy, CEEP, to make a meaningful and lasting contribution to the Botswana economy by enabling and capacitating citizen companies to participate in the Botswana supply chain in place of the foreign companies. Botswana has extended contracts of over 1 billion pula in funding to SMEs over the past 3 years using the CEEP policy. Congratulations to you. Now we go to Judges African Commendations for Commitment to Women Inclusion in the supply chain is awarded to Safaricom Kenya. Safaricom Development is aligned with Africom's company purpose and vision of transforming lives. This means leaving no one behind when it comes to growth. This is achieved by collaboratively fixing the gaps across the supply value chain. Safaricom provides extensive support services to their suppliers with a focus on SMEs and women in supply chain. Of the 205 pre-qualified women suppliers, 65 women SMEs received business support and contracts. Congratulations. And in the same categories, we're now looking at localization of the supply chain. And here, the award goes to Tallow Oil from Ghana. Over the past decade, Tallow Oil has ensured that their suppliers developed initiatives, remain relevant and are tailored to address the needs of suppliers in the upstream oil and gas sector. Tallow Oil has worked with key contractors to award substantial subcontracts to indigenous Ghanaian companies for highly technical scopes of work, so they have an opportunity to develop their capabilities. Shout out to Ghana. And now we are looking at pioneering supplier development. And this award goes to Vodacom Mozambique. Now, historically, in Mozambique, there is a low spend with local suppliers as SMEs lack access to opportunities to supply goods, and the negative perception that SMEs cannot provide quality and speed and compared to the large businesses. Vodacom Mozambique has successfully launched a supplier portal and access to finance program with Absa Bank Mozambique. The platform is still in its infancy, early stages, to support the initial push for the dissemination of procurement opportunities in Mozambique and make this information available to all. So all the best with that program, and good luck to you and congratulations. Moving on to our final award, sponsored by Absa. The overall winner is a company that stands out as a leader of supplier development in South Africa and will be an ambassador for the awards in 2022. Will you be there? The finalists. Oh, I thought you were going to hold it back. I was going to make them a little bit. Hey, white people in time. The finalists are Anglo American Zimele, Impact Group, and Tiger Brands. Tiger Brands, please slow down if it happens to be you, please. Let's not go through that again. And the winner is... Oh, well done, well done. Tiger Brands! Good, good. Got a hug. Okay, yeah. And now stay behind. Smile, please. The only people whose family members will believe they won the awards. Congratulations to you, Tiger Brands. And thank you very much. My hand has overs of things. You are professionals. I mean, the way you held this, I mean, I've never seen holding like that. The way you stood there and watched her hold. I mean, you are obviously in administration. You were like, oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Please take your seats. Could our masseuses please massage the ladies' feet as they sit down? For now, we are at the end of the program for the awards. It has been so fantastic being here with you. And congratulations one more time for all of our winners, please. Let it be heard across the entire continent. Well done to each and every one of you. The winners of the 2021 of Absa Business Day Supplier Development Awards, who have gone beyond the B. At some point, we must stop. Beyond that scorecard, to build inclusive, thriving, sustainable supply chains. Thank you to you. We hope that these companies and their inspirational success stories create a slipstream of growth for the economy as a whole. Please, guys, because, hey, petrol. Yo, guys, I'm selling my car. I'm going back to a scooter. I swear. I am. I used to have a scooter, but one of those that's louder than it is fast. You know, and then you'd exit the parking lot. Now, we encourage you to look out for the Absa Business Day Supplier Development publication that will be available in Business Day tomorrow and also available online in the next few days. The publication contains more information about what gives our winning programs their edge and a summary benchmark report with interesting insights into supplier development in South Africa today and excellent thought leadership articles. We extend our thanks and congratulations to all for participating and look forward to seeing you in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a pleasure being your hosts. I bid thee a good night.